thing. Okay, so
up,
we say we're
Jen?
live here. I have YouTube pulled up, guys. I'm actually learning. Oh, that's our last live stream. I was like, oh my god, it's going. Absolutely not here.
It didn't pop up on my phone yet. Hold on, let me check.
Upcoming.
Okay, yeah, we're live.
God,
It just
don't
came
hear
up on my
myself talk.
phone.
We're live.
We're live.
Yeah.
Hello everybody. Welcome.
Hi.
Today we are discussing. Oh God, I never know which side it's on. I say this every time. I'm like,
You're on the,
one
yeah.
of these times I'll figure it out. But this time we're discussing those three little words by Meghan Quinn. You would think I would know what it is after
You
having
could
read
just
it.
grab the book, Jen. It's like right behind you.
I'm trying to read it off my screen. I'm like, I'm good. It's fine. I've been
It's
up
like
since
people are gonna
5
start saying you have a fake
I've had
background.
some
Like it's not
wine.
actually your books there. It's just a
Do
green
what?
screen.
No,
You're
these
just gonna
aren't
say
my
it's a
books.
green screen. It's like
I
that's
have
not
to tell
actually a
you.
book right there.
So yeah, I guess I should have. I'll do this next time. I'll be prepared, guys. Okay. First of all, let's say hey to Cool Gamer. Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
But so I was looking at these today. I was like, I remember I got these signed. I wonder what she wrote in here because I vaguely remember her having signed something. And so 3 guesses as to what the actual inscription is in here. It's funny. It's between Eli.
Does it have to do with the plant?
No, there are no plants in the shoes. Okay. Good guess.
Is it
Solid
I love
guess.
you?
No. Come on, that's Charles. It took him.
What?
Is it
That's
the throw?
like
Is
the
it
most
the throw
on the
open the
nose
shoe?
thing.
No, it's not the throw open the shoe. It's I ate an apple. That's too wonderful. And the first book I looked at it. I haven't looked at the third one. I'm gonna wait until after we read it. But the first one was said, "Enjoy your arsenic," and I was like, "Oh, Catherine."
See, I love her. I like her humor. It was just they're too long for me personally.
Hey, Liz.
Hi, Liz.
See, I was pretty okay with it, and maybe it was just that I had to read a good chunk of it between today and yesterday. And there wasn't a whole lot of plot going on. The last 40-ish%, I would say, there was a lot of spice or banging. And after a while, I was just like, I love me a good sex scene, but give me some plot.
I feel like they were too clumped together. They needed to be like dispersed. Hi, like spread them a little bit.
I actually liked how the hero was in therapy throughout the whole entire book.
I did too.
It's like when I kind of got both of their situations because like she desperately wants to hear those words from him, and he's doing everything, but he won't give her that one component. I was like,
well, knowing his backstory, you understand why.
Oh my god,
that's like one thing I love about Meghan Quinn. Like she does, like when she does it right, like conflict or angst, like it makes sense. Like why they're like push and pull. But I get it. Like if you're not into her antics or some of the things that the characters do,
I just hated all the excuses being because of her pregnancy hormones.
But that's so true, though.
I know,
like,
I've known pregnant but it was just like
she was so petty.
But for no reason. And then what was it? Her friend, like, okay, this was the scene where I was like, I hate this book.
Oh no! Keep going. Okay.
The scene where she talks to her friend in the freaking closet. Why the fuck you would do that? But anyway.
Wasn't that like she was trying to hide from her parents?
Yeah, but here's the
what are you doing in the closet?
It's my favorite
thing that pissed me off.
Oh yeah, because she was pregnant and she didn't want to let them know.
And they found the pregnancy book.
Here was the part that pissed me off. When her friend was like, because she like up and left because he didn't say I love you back. She like
this is a different closet scene. Keep going.
And then I was like, and then her friend was like, you know, his issue was abandonment. Why the fuck would you leave? And I'm like, this is why I can't stand this girl. Like, she is dumb.
She was 7 months pregnant. I know that it's
like no, but it was just like he told you his issues, and you're still trying to be like a self-absorbed pain in the ass.
Strong feelings.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna defend her a little bit because like her emotions were all out of whack. And I think she's operating in a place of like a little bit of insecurity.
Yeah, but so was he. And then the fact that she was like, oh, like, No, duh.
That's why I like how the friend like called it out. Like,
Yeah.
she didn't like Quinn could have let that just go on and just go.
If it
Oh,
did, I would have
she ran.
thrown the book.
But like, I like how
Oh
she
my
had
God.
another character. There was another book where she did that, where it was like two sisters, and the sister was like, "You realize like you're the problem too." I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh." I was like,
And
"Oh." I was like,
I love that was called out. Like the friend was basically like, okay, listen. And
I like
I
the
even
friend.
highlighted it at one point where she was just like, if you say because I'm 7 months pregnant, like this is why I'm feeling this way, I'm going to gut you with a rusty knife. And I was just like, first of all, I love the line. Second of all, you have to realize, like, if you say that, you yourself know that 7 months pregnant, you're basically irrational. And even the doctor, he was just like, I think that you guys have to work some things out. Like, it was clear that she had some
had some major issues, and she wanted to blame everything on him, and it pissed me off.
I wouldn't say they were issues. They were just emotions, and they were really running through her strong, and she didn't have a filter. I don't know. For me, that spoke to me on about a million different levels. Like when she started, the first like half of this book, when she would go off on a tangent of just like everything, I'm like, is she in my brain? Because this is basically how I operate. Not so much towards the crazy latter half of it, but
in the beginning, because you could tell she was uncomfortable, and I do that when I'm uncomfortable. But like, girl, we get it. You're a freaking mess. Like, get it together.
I gotta say, like, for a book that involved the brother's best friend trope, I love how this one was handled. Because it was like one quick fight, and either it was like,
shit.
You're moving in with her and taking care of this baby, and it was like, okay, now we can move on.
And then the girlfriend got pissed at the brother for like meddling in some of their shit. I was like, yes, thank you.
Well, and there was also parts to that because he was trying to plan the proposal, so he was a little bit distant, so that probably didn't bode well for the situation either. But I am glad that we found out that they got engaged, at least towards the end of the book. But oh my gosh, so Alicia, a different scene that we were thinking of, Charles and I, in the very beginning when her parents were there, that was
and she let the pregnancy, like you said, and
but
then
it was the
like,
cutest reaction. Like you're thinking your parents are gonna kill you, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
The fact she like hid in the closet and they know she's home. That's the part that drove me. I was like, "What?
But
they
then
know
not
you're
to
home."
call him and have him worrying while he's out of town. What's going on with you? Like.
She was dealing with the situation, okay?
But like,
she was telling herself that she had nicknamed herself E, and she's sending herself flowers. I'm like, that seems legitimate. Like, that was a pretty good lie. Thanks for the hug. That was a stretch. Honestly, her being like, I think I cannot tell Pacey and be fine with it. Like, I'll just eat every time that he's around, and he'll just assume that I'm getting fat. And then Blakely's just like, well, what happens in 9 months when you have the baby? What you do. No, some people can hide it really well. I had a girl in high school
I just eat and no one will notice.
He'll never come over. He never comes over
well,
to the house
that can be true, because not all women like show until like they make some give birth and you're like, you were pregnant?
Yeah. I had a lady.
It's like now that awkward question, like if you ask someone like, are you pregnant? They're like, no. Like,
I've been asked before. And I'm like, no.
Terrible. I hate
that's what she said. I was like, you do have some merit there.
The one scene that I was like, girl, you didn't think this through was when she told her brother and him at the same time. Like, what the frig did you expect was going to happen, you dumbo?
He's still irrational. At that point, she had 5 weeks of pregnancy brain.
I know, but like,
everything went out the window. She was already weird.
You know how your brother is. Like, you want to cause a fight? That's the way to do it.
Smart and brought Posey in because she's like, Posey will prevent him from killing, which I loved. He was like, is there a reason I'm here? Because
I love awkward. Him. Like, he slid next to the door so he could run. It was great.
Did you sleep with my sister? I absolutely did not touch her. Don't kill me. Oh, sorry. I was going through the reason I can quote it so well is I was going through my comments that I had highlighted. So I'm not creepy.
Her humor is great. I love her humor. It was just there was too much. Like, it needed to be shorter. Like, if it was 350 pages, I would have had a great time. This was almost 600 pages.
How are you getting 600 pages? I swear my Kindle said it was 490.
The copy that I read was 589.
That's not possible. I'm holding a physical copy right here, and it stops at page 490.
The e-copy that I have it said it was 549.
My ebook told me it was 491.
I think it's a formatting. You have to go by word count.
Oh, okay.
Because I know, like, that's what a lot of authors, they'll say, oh, it's like 10,000 words or something. Because like
Put
you
them
can
in
play
the
with the
page numbers,
font and
friends.
everything and make it a shorter book or a longer book.
Like, I really loved it. It's kind of the same thing with the Bromance Book Club. Like, I love the friendship aspect. I just don't like when the
I missed
focus
the
on the
guys
couple.
in this
It's
one.
so
I don't feel like they
good.
were there as much. Like, they had a lot of
I really
texting
wish I liked
conversations,
it.
but it was between the two of
I
them.
cried while reading it when he
I
finally said
almost
those
choked up at the
words.
end.
I was like, damn you, Megan. I was like, I hate you. Trust
I
me.
did like
I like
some
messaged her when I
backstory with
finished
what happened with
untying the
the
knot,
other
and I was
guy's
like,
brother.
I'm so mad at you, Megan. Like now I need this girl's romance.
I'll have to. I'm nervous to start that series because you told me that for that book, and I'm just like, ooh.
I don't know how she makes a book like. If you want steam, Alicia, that book is steamy.
Which one?
Untying the knot.
But that's the one with the cancer, right? You had mentioned that before.
I'm fine with
best
that. I'm fine
friend.
with that. That I know about it. I just didn't like in the first one that
When it
like
comes out of
everybody and their mother got cancer. Where it was
Okay,
a
Alicia,
cancer
I do
scare. I
have
was
to
like,
ask
that's a little
you.
much.
But the way it happens at the end, I don't want to
Yeah.
give it away. It's so sad. She doesn't
Oh,
die, so don't worry.
But it's still sad, so like now I'm really nervous.
But it's sad because like she's dealing with like if you don't like the heroine in this book, you probably will get annoyed with the heroine of that book because it's
I
worse.
also think it's the audiobook narrator. Like I can't stand her effing voice. Oh my god!
Like this one is like that heroine's like a mix between the two characters in this book.
Like the
which
guy,
went to
whoever the
11.
guy narrator is, I like. I don't know what it is about the female narrator that like
Who's the narrator for this one? I forget.
Why do I want to say Shane West? I feel like I've seen him a
It
couple
sounds
times.
like
I feel like
Shane
it's
West, but I'm
Jason
not
Clark, right?
Who is it?
I've actually physically read these, and I also think that that's part of the reason why I'm just like eating it up. I read
think
a little
I'm
bit here
gonna
and there.
I'm gonna try the third one physically reading it.
Would you say
Teddy
Charles?
Hamilton and Kelsey Navarro.
I like the
give it a
guy.
shot, Alicia.
I just
try it.
Yeah, I'm going
Start
to.
it now. Read a chapter or two a day, so then you get a little taste of it, and then you switch it to something else, or you're just like, you know what, I'm really digging it. Because I don't know. Sometimes I feel like with
between these
audiobooks,
two.
Get him in
This
between for
chunker
sure.
and this one.
Have you tried the graphic audio? It's actually really good for Red Rising.
I might have to try that because I can't
really
stand the guy who does the regular audio. Oh my god.
It's really good. It's like remember the what's that fantasy series we read on
Warded Man?
The Warded Man. This graphic audio is much better. You can actually listen to it on 2 times. Its speed is not all like crazy sound effects and stuff like that. So I've been working my way through that.
Is it on
The only thing is annoying, you have to buy the first book is split up into 2.
Oh, I hate when they do that.
There's a part 1 and part 2.
Rude.
They're doing it with all of them because the first part of Golden Sun just came out yesterday.
Yeah.
They're splitting them all into 2.
Rude.
Which kind of irritates me because then you have to buy them separately and it's a
credit each.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think if you go to like Libro FM, they're like $14-ish. So like
I was gonna check Scribs because that's where I seem to get most of the dramatized audios from.
Sure. Alicia, question for you. I mean, Charles, you're welcome to answer it, but I'm not sure based off of previous conversations how sports centered you are on hockey. And Liz is also a good question for you too, because the first book you wish there was more hockey, and I feel like there was a lot more hockey in this one. How did that portray for you? Did you feel like it was an accurate representation?
I loved the antagonistic shit between the one asshole player from the other team.
Gasper or whatever his face is.
Yeah. Like I was like, that's some hockey shit right there. Like
as soon as he started talking smack to him, I was just like, oh, he's gonna rile his feathers. I'm like, if you don't deck him, I am. And then he said that one comment about her, and I was just, and he like lost it, and I was like, get it. And then
she got mad at him for getting pissed. I'm like, bitch, I'd be so happy if
she wasn't there. She didn't understand, but she should understand. Like, if Pacey is willing to deck someone that they're good friends with, it was bad. So I also like that was kind of what brought them back together a little bit. Like, it was the start of it where he was just like, when he was like, "What the hell are you doing?" And he's like, he's talking shit about your sister. He turns around and then he turns around again and he's just like wailing on him like, "You get him.
See, but that's real hockey. Like the shit talking, that's like where they break each other's teeth. Like that's legit freaking hockey.
I feel like, Alicia, we couldn't have you in this book because you would just end up going like,
"Heroine, I grew up in a family full of boys, so yes, I can. I learned how to fight. Trust me." Trust me.
I can just see Alicia just coming and just going like, "You know what? You don't deserve him. Come here." You're like,
I would be so happy. Like seriously. My boyfriend out of the question, absolutely.
Of the Vancouver agitators would be like, "This is my reverse harem. Bye, heroine."
Why do you think I used to hang out where all the hockey players in Philadelphia train?
Were you one of the hotel lobby people?
No, I used to go to
what they call them, like a puck bunny?
The puck bunnies. Oh my gosh! Speaking of Puck, when they were just like, "We should talk about naming our kid," and he's like, "I really like the name Puck," and I was like, "That's real original, Eli." Like, come on. Fastest way not to be able to name our kid.
Peggy Leggy. I was like, really, Peggy? Come on.
Honestly, I thought she was going to bring a mental health thing into it. So this is kind of switching gears a little bit where, we had Peggy Leggy, but then Johnny Jim. And then towards the end when she was trying to understand him, but like was negatively taking it out on literally like the whole house. First of all, I fold everything myself. So the fact that she like destroyed his sock and underwear drawer, I was like, that's sacrilegious. Do you know how long that takes? Okay, that's very rude.
Extremely rude.
Opinion. But yeah, how she was writing that, I was just like, and then, sorry, I'm all over the place, but he had texted Posey, he's like, "I don't even know what to do with her at this point." And I was just like, get your therapist. Like, first of all, her artwork
go to therapy together.
Yeah, but her artwork on the wall having a flaccid penis and then a woman who's pregnant with an erect penis and then her, like, I think she jumped off a cliff or something and then was a flaccid penis again. I was like, these are some triggering photos. I'm pretty sure you need to seek some help. Like, I understand pregnancy and you're kind of a little bit crazy, but that pushed something for me. And I was like, can we bring therapy into this for her? Not in a bad way, but in like a,
no,
hey,
but
you
like,
really got to talk to someone
because of the
type of
hormone
way.
Changes that pregnancy does to most people. I think it's a good thing to do that.
Yeah. So I fully agree with that because I've had a lot of friends that tell me before and after that they've just emotions are high. I mean, you've got every hormone under the sun, like flowing through you monthly, let alone trying to grow a child and do that. It's just like, it's too much. Let's see what's I was going.
40 books.
So, I mean, don't push yourself to read it if you don't want to, or if you start it and you're just like, absolutely not, it's just not anything I want to do, we will not hold it against you. I will tell you, because later in the series, there's some stuff where I'm just like, wow, intense, but also
in the second half.
Not in this book. I think
no, but in like Iron Gold and all those.
I've only read the first 3. No worries, Liz. It's more than fine. But yeah, there's just, and I don't like, I will be the first to admit I'm completely clueless about anything. So Liz, anytime you tell us something history related, like I actually am very excited about it because I'm just like, I get to learn something today. I just never was into it when I was actually in school. So now that I'm out of it, it's very exciting, but I miss a lot of things. And so I'm just more reading like what's going on and I don't have the implications behind it. So
yeah. Which is sometimes a good thing, depending on the book.
True.
Yeah.
True. But I would say, I mean, maybe do a little bit of research if you're thinking about it or on the fence of it, just to see if it's something. What are you doing? Sorry, I've got another cat trying to eat something over here. It's just tape. She can eat that. It's fine. But
as long as it's not a wire, you're good.
I have towels and I have mats over this wire so the other one can't get it. But she just likes to chew on boxes and I just wanted to make sure we're fine. But yeah, I just, if it's something you're on the fence about, because I know that you really weren't into reading it, just do a little bit of that because I probably, it's been several years since I read it, so I can't think of anything triggering, but I also...
There was one small thing that I told you earlier, but that's just a personal thing to me.
Yeah, I read dark romance, so like I'm the wrong one to ask.
You're fine, Charles. You're gonna be.
I'm
You're gonna be like, you know
fine.
what? Let's make this a hot little tip moment.
I see a contents warning list. I'm like adding to TBR.
Well, it's not a content warning for the first one. It was just a very specific thing. Like they use a name. It's a name of a character, but it's a derogatory term against Italians in the English language. And I'm just like, sir, I don't know if you're doing this on purpose, but it's a derogatory term against Italian people. Stop. It just took me a minute to get used to that, to realize it was a name and it wasn't just someone calling someone that. Like I was just like, wait a second. Yeah. I'm fine.
Oh man.
I get that.
So yeah, I'm excited to read it because I do remember liking it a lot. I remember hating the audiobook. The narrator.
Oh my god, the guy's awful. I'm gonna read the
I think he does all the audiobooks.
He does.
That series. I think he does.
And then, like a dumbass, I saw the second book come up for sale, and I think I originally gave it back, but I ended up buying it during this other sale because I'm just like, oh well, if push comes to shove,
I have the first 3 on audio. Yeah, without even thinking about it.
Yeah, this one, was a doozy. We talked about a lot of stuff so far. Any other major moments that you guys are thinking of? Oh my gosh, how were you devastated when they're meet Hornsby or Holden Hornsby? I was like, that's the name of the guy that died.
I like the backstory with that character, that he was with him the night that he ended up passing out. And you can tell he had some issues regarding that, understandably.
I want all of these books because I think that I would hope that there's going to be 5 of them. But
I want the book reader. I want him next. Is he next?
I want him.
Yes, I want him. He's just because he has a crush on her best friend, and they're the 2 characters that I like the most. So I want their book.
No, it's Silas. I think
the next book is Silas. Yeah, Taters.
Next book is Silas.
Oh, I like Taters.
I don't know. She may not do all of them.
I just want the nerdy love story because all he does is read books and he has a crush on her best friend, and
because
they're the most characters that I like. I want
she goes by what characters are speaking the loudest to her. She may not. The last time she did a full really long series was the Brentwood, the baseball one.
Yeah, which
that
was
has
funny
7 books in it.
Because they made a comment about how the first time that he got to see Penny was when he made a comment oh, the Brentwood boys, because you're taking a girl to locker rooms, and I was like, that sounds, I feel like that's the name of her other series, and so I was looking through it and I was like, it was. So I was very excited about catching that. But
I feel like she has a bajillion series going on right
I get so lost because she has written so much. I'm like, I don't know what's where.
Have you noticed she doesn't group them in series on Amazon?
No. Mm-mm.
Well, the only way you know is by the covers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of them, I mean, you can read them as standalone. For this one, you very easily could have come into this one and been absolutely fine. You wouldn't have had to know anything other than the fact that they go to a cabin in Banff and Pacey met Winnie in the first one. And honestly, they already explained that to you in this one. So
yeah.
It makes you want to go back and read and see if there's other books for these other characters that you just met.
Yeah, and I feel like Goodreads does a pretty good job, and I think she does it on her website where she kind of groups them a little bit. But you're right, I think it is mainly just the covers.
Yeah, I think on Goodreads, on her website, but on retailers, you would have to go to Goodreads.
You have to know which one.
You have to know because there's no book 1 or 2 or 3 on those. Oh, from Catching the Rye.
It might be.
I love that book.
Oh, I haven't read that since high school.
I love that book.
I don't think I ever read it, so we might have to do a classics, guys. And then
I never had to read Hatchet.
You never read
so many books kids had to read when we were growing up. I never had to read. I never read The Giver. Never had to read that.
That one I read.
I would like to. I have the copy now, so I can read it because I never had to read it. We did Shakespeare, basically.
Yeah, I mean, Arizona's pretty much it, but
I was so happy when we got to do Macbeth over Romeo and Juliet because I already
Romeo and
read
Juliet's garbage, and I love
that.
Shakespeare, but Romeo and Juliet's garbage.
Like it.
It's awful.
Like,
All
are you
this
talking about
slander against my. Now you're gonna tell me you don't like Wuthering Heights?
I love Wuthering Heights, but it's not a romance. It's a book about fucked up people.
I mean, define happily ever after, because they technically were happy together when they were dead.
But then
So-
they both realized they couldn't have each other, so they basically ended up spiting each other past death.
But they were buried next to each other, so I'm gonna assume a happily torturous.
I'm sorry. That book had me until
their ghosts are gonna live on in.
I mean, because
Spoilers
they
for
were
Wuthering
buried like
Heights.
right next to each other.
It lost me when he admitted that he buried up her dead corpse to lay with it. I was like, no.
I mean, that's romantic though.
No,
it's a dark
gross.
romance. But you have to remember, it's dark and gothic.
It's a fantastic book. I just don't like it when people say it's a romance. I will fight you.
She will die.
The love that Heathcliff has, like he messes up with their kids. That's how hungover. Like this girl dies in like chapter 5 in the book.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
you'd be
love
surprised that
Wuthering
she
Heights.
isn't
I
alive
definitely
very
want to
long.
reread it because it's been a very long time since I love the book. I just people when they say it's a romance because
I think like
there's
Jane
not really a
Eyre.
happily ever after. They both die miserable.
I think like they're like your gothic romances. Because like Jane Eyre, some people you can, because they do
I
end up
love
together.
Jane Eyre. I know it's problematic, but I freaking love Jane Eyre.
I just hate when she leaves and then he gets burned up and then she comes back. I'm like, oh, that's where the book got boring. I was like, crazy lady locked up upstairs.
Spoilers for Jane Eyre.
I mean, is it a spoiler?
I'm
The book
never
has
gonna
been out
remember.
for
Let's
like
be
how
real.
many years? It's like,
But
can you even claim
but
like
it's
Harry Potter
like Wuthering Heights
spoilers?
is fascinating. I just don't think it's a romance. I love Wuthering Heights as a book. But the only person that I think is actually a good person in that book is Hareton, the nephew.
Never read
I
it.
love them all.
Alicia, I need you to
Heathcliff
do
is
a
an
lot of
asshole.
like classics on your channel, and then you can broaden my horizons because I know.
I'm trying. Yes,
Ooh, if you
I'm
want
just
to
gonna
do
do it
classic,
because
have you read
everybody
Peter
keeps on
Pan?
like trying to reschedule with me, and I'm just like,
Ah,
if you can't make it, it's no big deal.
Have you read Peter Pan, Jen?
I don't think so. No,
I just bought a copy.
I
of
didn't
it.
like to. I will be 100% honest with you. I didn't like to read until I was in high school, and then I told everyone that I loved that I was a huge Harry Potter fan, and they're like, "Have you ever read the books?" And I was like, "No, the movies are fantastic." And then they're like, "You're not a Harry Potter fan unless you read the books." And then I had some dumbass kid from band who gave me this like 200 question survey asking like book details that I had no clue about. And so to prove him wrong, I ended up reading it over the summer, and then I was just like, "Suck it, son."
You actually did it?
I did, but that was what started me into reading. So in high school, when things happened, I would vehemently like refuse to read. I was horrible in English. So that's why it's just like it's funny to me now how much I read and like books because it was literally like
I'm gonna
pulling
start
teeth
Jane
for me to
Eyre in
do anything.
September. So if you want to, I don't know if I'm gonna do a live discussion yet, but I'm gonna do Jane Eyre in September.
Might have to try.
I will say Jane Eyre does, the third act is kind of slow. It's like when she leaves Rochester.
I see why
like,
people think it's slow, but
it takes
I
a
love
turn.
it.
Some people love it, some
I
people
love
hate
it.
it.
I honestly burned the quiz in front of him. I got upset.
You should read Peter Pan though. You would like that. That's a nice.
I just got a
entrance.
copy. I found it at a used bookstore.
I love the ending of that because it's if you watch the Disney movie, which has its problems, it's actually really sad ending.
I am such a competitive reader.
I'm
a competitive person in general.
I have a whole list of classics that I want to either read or reread for my channel.
Frankenstein is good.
Frankenstein's one of my favorite books of all time.
Dracula's a little bit of a letdown.
Dracula's
my problem
boring.
is just some of the older stuff is really dry, and so I like the newer things that have like they take elements from it, but they add action to it. I don't know. I could be very wrong. Maybe I just need to write.
Have you
Have I
read
what?
Howl's Moving Castle?
No.
Oh my
You
god,
would
it's
like
so
that.
good.
It's a trilogy. Those are
I've never read the
I think those are
trilogy,
considered
but I read
modern
the first book.
classics.
I want you on my team too, Shannon, because you read a lot. And Liz. Liz is like light years ahead of us.
I mean,
And
but I
Charles.
could
know.
What am I
take
saying?
you
You guys
both
are all.
down. If it's like, let's do Jen and Shannon versus
Well, we're
me.
gonna start. Jen and I are gonna do a discussion of. You're more than welcome to join. You, as I've told you multiple times, you have an open invitation to my channel whenever you want, Charles.
I mean, I never get an actual
We're doing
invitation. I
Northanger
have to
Abbey.
invite myself, Alicia.
Would it make you feel better, Charles, if I invited you? Hey, Charles, do you want to hear about this awesome thing that we're doing next Wednesday? Here, in case if you weren't aware, we're doing a Red Rising read-along, and we would love for you to join us next week at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, and it's going to be over on Alicia's channel. But I, from Who Picked This Book, I'm going to invite you along the journey. So if that makes you feel a little better.
We do have to plan out when we're going to have the discussion for Northanger Abbey. You know, time's been a little nuts, so I'm not stressing out about it. So
ooh, okay. Oh yeah, you're doing your Jane Austen read through, right?
Yeah, I would like to.
I like Elizabeth Gaskell a little bit more.
I love
North and South. If you like
Cranford.
your romance, I'm
Here, okay. Hot take. I think the romance in North and South is better than the romance in Jane Eyre, even though I love both.
I think the romance in North and South is better than Pride and Prejudice.
Yes, I agree. Even though I love it, I agree.
I love Pride and Prejudice, but I think I mostly love Pride and Prejudice because of the Keira Knightley movie.
I love Pride and Prejudice because it was the first Jane Austen that I read. It's not my favorite, but it's the first Jane Austen that I read.
I honestly have read 3, and they have all been books. Don't judge me.
What I read. I haven't been reading that much. Shannon.
Really?
North and South.
I'm not judging, but that surprises me, Shannon, knowing how much you like classics.
I think with classics, you have to like find a good audiobook if you can't read it physically.
Well, I think that's what helps me with Wuthering Heights. The last time I reread it is I read the. Did anybody here watch? Charles, did you watch Downton Abbey at all?
I did. Yeah. I loved it, except for the rapey scene.
Okay. So you know the character Anna, right? The one who marries Bates.
Mm-hmm.
She does the audio for Wuthering Heights, and it's freaking fantastic. It's so good. And she does all the voices, and it's so freaking good. Highly recommend. Her name is Jane Froggatt. I think that's all her last name is.
I haven't listened to that one.
It's fan-freaking-tastic. Yeah. Yep.
Sounds like you just
need I'll find out which version it is, and I'll send you the full name and information.
I'm just so mad there isn't a TV show adaptation of Wuthering Heights that's good. There's a Tom Hardy one.
But Tom Hardy.
But that's not that good.
I just stared at him for 2 hours.
Shannon, this is it. This is exactly why I don't read them very often. Is they're just so dry, and I'm like, I don't get your humor. And I was like, I probably should understand what you're saying. I need the abbreviated versions where they're like, this dumb American. Let's go ahead and just make it easy for you.
I wanted to start you with Northanger Abbey because that is the shorter work, and it is very Gothic-y. But it's very like tongue in cheek. It's very like so just let me know when it's good for you and we'll schedule it. No stress, because I know you're busy. Please, no stress.
Who, me or Charles?
At least with classics, you can find they usually have full cast audiobooks for cheap because it's public domain.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So especially for Jane Austen, there's bound to be a really good audiobook.
There's a ton.
There's one that can make it easier to read.
Did you see the film Gone Girl?
I did. That was disturbing, but also reading the book. The
woman that plays his wife is the audio for Pride and Prejudice.
I could handle that. I have not.
Is it bad I consider Gone Girl a romance?
What?
And
Yes,
then
it is.
fuck
I
that
judge you now.
bromance.
Charles, go put yourself in timeout. I can't even with you right now.
I mean, they end up.
I'll let you
If like
explain it
I'm
to me.
thinking of my dark
Where's the
romance
romance?
head on, I was like, she literally faked her own death
They were both
and
miserable, and they
kidnapping.
couldn't survive without each other because they were miserable.
Oh, but I love the moment where she like traps him with the baby,
Oh,
and she's
that's
like,
the
"I'm
worst
that like
part.
C
I'm
word that
waiting
like
for the
you married."
sequel
I was
because
like,
there's supposed to be a sequel where the child is
Sequel?
13. There's supposed to be a sequel
Oh,
written, and she
no.
hasn't written it yet, and I'm so
That
angry.
child is going to be worse than she is, and she's going to get what
Mhm.
she deserves. Has any
I don't know.
of
Her
you...
parents weren't that bad though.
The
Like
mom
she's kind of
was.
the more
She was off her rocker.
but
Mhm.
she's kind of a psychopath. I feel like, yeah, I don't want a sequel to it. It doesn't need a sequel.
Well, she
I
was
really
supposed to
hate...
write it, and I'm curious because I liked, oddly enough, I liked the fact that there was nobody redeemable in the book. Everybody was an asshole in that book. And I like that, I guess. I don't know.
I just
I
like
want
that she made the female character like
I haven't read Rebecca since high
unlikable,
school.
but like but you still are interested. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like Gone Girl started that whole trend of like unlikable, unreliable female narrators that
I
do
have to
bad
give it credit.
things.
I have to give it credit. It was one of the first books that I literally said out loud, "What the fuck?" like a couple
That book, I
times.
Lindsay, if
didn't
you
have
read
good
that book
feelings about it.
again, it still works. Like all the
Yeah.
twists and everything. I
I'm
was
afraid
like,
to reread it because I know what's gonna happen.
trust me, Alicia, like it's still that's like one of my biggest things. Like, can you reread a thriller and have
Oh,
it
yeah.
still be good the second time around? And like this one works. Cause like you feel like you're kind of like even though you know what's gonna happen, that's what I felt when I watched the movie. I was like, ooh, this still hits.
And it was so
Yeah.
weird to watch Neil Patrick Harris in that one role. I was like, this is weird, uncomfortable.
Man, I felt bad. He gets brutally murdered on
I
screen.
know. Spoilers.
After raping her. That was even worse with the wine bottle. No, ma'am.
That tells you that
Just
girl is
It was hard to watch on
crazy.
screen. Reading it was hard enough, and
Yeah.
He's like, I had to teach you a
watching it,
lesson,
I was like,
husband.
no, I feel like Paris, no.
Could you imagine if the husband like had another woman? What she would do to her? What she would do to her?
Oh my
And
god.
I'm not the biggest Ben
Not
Affleck
good.
fan, so when he got cast, I was like, I'm done.
I
I don't like Ben Affleck.
just ate up the movie. I was like, oh, finally! I'm so happy they did this movie right. Like it would have been such a shame. It's such a hard because she wrote it too, which I was surprised. The screenplay.
Did you guys ever read Rebecca?
I did
Oh, I
in
love Rebecca.
high school. I did, and
The ending's a little bit of a
my school was
letdown.
all of Shakespeare, Rebecca, and Pride and Prejudice, and then all these other books that everybody else had to read. I've never read. Like,
Have you read Grapes of Wrath?
nope.
Of Mice
I
and
read half
Men?
of it.
Of Mice
That
and
was
Men,
when
I
I
did.
gave up on my one
Of
class.
Mice and Men was required, and I think I hated it because of the teacher that I had at the time. I would like to reread it. And I read To Kill a Mockingbird, and that was it for high school reading for me.
I still refuse to read Go Set a Watchman. I was like, Harper Lee never intended
tried.
that book to be published.
I try,
I'm
but
going to
here's
say
the
that.
part that makes me feel icky. She didn't want it published, and people published it after she died.
It's like the same thing with like when
Mm.
releasing like music from musicians that had passed.
Yeah.
I was
Like
like,
they did
I
with
don't
Prince.
think they wanted this to be released. I'm like, leave it alone.
Yep.
Lester
And
But
that's
gave
now
us
with like
I didn't
AI,
know
now
that
they
when I
could
bought
just
the book, but I like gave it away because I was like, that makes me feel icky.
yeah, because people said like Atticus is like totally different and
I'm sorry,
Ghost of
I
the
want to remember
Watchmen.
Atticus in my little brain.
Like I want to remember as like the hero standing up for like his black
Gregory
client.
Peck in the movie, like, yes, please.
I know you had to read The Great Gatsby. I feel like everyone has read that book.
I read it in college, not in high school.
I remember arguing with
And the other one
my
that
English
still
teacher.
messes
I
with
was
my
like,
brain of how they let an eighth grader at the time read this was The Bluest Eye. I had to read The Bluest Eye in 8th grade.
I read Song of Solomon in the 8th
And
grade,
it was and my teacher was a white man with a capital W. So it was like
Isn't there
very awkward.
There's a detailed like sexual assault scene in that book, right?
And like I'm not saying it's a very hard read, but a fantastic book. But I did not understand it till I reread it in college for a college course. 14-year-old me was like, I don't. Like
There's
I
just so much
don't know how they okay certain things for syllabi, and yet they ban other things.
Yeah, one thing my high school was good at, like especially when I got to junior year, like my teacher would just like assign like a crazy amount of books. I think like over summer we had to read like 30 books, 30 classics. And so like even throughout the year, like you got bonus credit for like reading like other books in addition. And if you like gave a book report and he quizzed you on it and you passed it, you got like extra credit.
We had to read to younger. We went to the grade school that was connected, and we read to younger kids. That's how we got extra credit. Like I remember reading Charlotte's Web to like a 5th grade class. Random
I think
things
we all
you
learned
remember
to actually read the books because I think it was like honors English freshman year and we were supposed to read like a classic and all the class was like, yeah, we didn't read it. We admitted it to the teacher and she gave us all F's. And they were like, okay, maybe let's not be honest.
There's so many classics that I still want to read. Like I've never read Vanity Fair. I just picked up a copy at my used bookstore because I've never read it. Always wanted to. So my list of classics that I would like to do on my channel keeps on growing.
Yeah.
There's so little that you do read. Yeah, and I mean there's so many classics to choose from, and I think some of them I don't remember reading anything. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, yeah, we did some of the Shakespeare stuff, but you know what, Alicia, did you say that you had or had not read The Great Gatsby?
I read it in college. I had to read it in college.
Charles, did you say you hadn't read it, or is the wine talking to me and I thought that neither of you
I didn't read it in high school. Yeah, I read it in college. I didn't read it in high school.
So I'm going to say is maybe we put that at the beginning of next year. Just throw it in as one of our standalones through all of our little romance and frou-frous. Let's just put some classics in there.
I do have to say, like, I do not recommend starting off with classics. Like, read something that you actually want to, or read something modern. Like The Hate U Give.
That's why I wanted to start with like the shorter ones. Like that's why I gifted Jen a copy of Northanger Abbey because it's very short.
It's like for like the romance fan, like everyone who was like, "Oh my goodness, you're a romance fan, but you haven't read Pride and Prejudice." I'm like, okay, like let's be real. Like you probably have read a book that has the same plot points as Pride and Prejudice.
I was a weird child. I read Pride and Prejudice and Mansfield Park at 8. Oh,
what?
I read it at 8. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I was a weird child.
I just never...
I can admit that about myself.
I needed a whole new world, which is why I hopped onto Hogwarts, and then from Hogwarts I went to wherever City of Bones was, the Mortal Instruments, and then that's when I read the Infernal Devices series and found out about like Regency London, and then all of a sudden I was just like, give me the ankles, give me the gloved hands. Oh my God, he touched her bare wrist. Like that was honestly what did it for me.
The
and then
hand
I was
flex
just like,
in the 2005 version of Pride and Prejudice, the hand flex.
The compromised position. You can't be alone with a man.
You're alone on a balcony and you're on the opposite ends, but you're still compromised. Nobody's witnessing you.
Speaking of compromised position, and it made me mad that they didn't put it in the series. Book 2 of the Bridgertons. I wanted that scene on screen and it wasn't there.
It was so infuriating.
I'm like, why isn't it there? It's just right there. Just do it.
Honestly, that whole season bugged the hell out of me because it did, like, it veered off. So, like, they took little pieces here and there, but for the most part, like, a lot of the majority of it was gone. And I was just like, you took away why I liked this book.
I can't wait to see Colin and
happy
Penelope.
They did. Because I didn't like
ways,
too.
They didn't bang it out until the last 10 minutes of the season. Okay, Charles, that is unacceptable. I need that way sooner. Okay, let's.
See, that's how I felt about the Meghan Quinn book.
In my defense of the show, I think if you make every season like all hot and heavy like the first one,
You need to sprinkle
I
it.
think fans are gonna get kind of like, okay, this is too much of the same.
Salt bay it or something. I don't know. Just sprinkle it in there.
Give me something. Like, okay, they woke up. They actually did something. No, they wait till 10 minutes. No, don't do this to me.
I just really want to watch
Don't.
Queen
I can't wait
Charlotte,
till
but I
season
know it's
3
gonna
though,
make me
because
cry.
Penelope and Colin are my favorite.
Have you ever watched Queen Charlotte?
I love that so
bawled
much.
my freaking eyes out.
I want to watch it, but I know it doesn't end the best because like I know
No,
what
it
happens
ends
like King George.
So it ends so beautifully. I was really sad for the whole situation, but how it ends,
But
I
it still
almost was in
makes you
tears.
cry.
I
I
I'm
was
not an emotional
ugly
person.
crying
I was
when I
puddling
watched
tears.
it. I was sick. I literally was recovering from a COVID shot, and I was watching it, and I was bawling my eyes out, and I was just like, I'm not okay.
I can't remember the name
Yeah.
of the two characters anymore, but the two like handmaid
Oh,
guys.
the
I
guys,
need
yeah.
their story. Okay,
Oh my
I want
god.
so much more of it. I need all of the
Giles
answers.
and someone.
Yes, I'm here for it. Just give them a whole 10 seasons. I'll watch it. They're so freaking cute together.
The last 20 minutes of that freaking last episode, I couldn't.
Waterfall of Tears. Couldn't watch through it. Yep.
That's the scene where
it makes me really sad because I know what actually
himself.
happened in history. That he wasn't that great of a guy, like historically speaking.
Okay. Let's see. That is some heavy reading. I'm looking over here at mine. Charles, you're both gonna roll over. You're alive and you're both rolling over in your grave already, because the book I decided to start reading in between, I'm doing more of an audiobook and I slowed it way down. Is this.
What it?
House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas.
Nope. No comment. She's just not for me.
That's why I told you guys you're gonna roll over in your
grave. I know. I'm not like, she's just not for me. I know I have friends that love her, and I'm just like, I tried.
I'm reading it slower this time because the first time I read it, I was on 3 speed, and I was just like, I couldn't remember what happened to save my life. But these things are
okay. I can give you a refresher of book 1.
Did you read it?
Girl keeps on saying the dude is an alpha hole. Like repeatedly, you meet a bunch of characters that you have no context with, and then the whole reason behind the murder is kind of silly because it was literally the best friend who offed. Oh my goodness, I'm giving sorry spoilers. Who offed
I was like,
everyone?
who's the best friend? This
Danica.
is it. Like, it's been so long.
I love that.
I thought she was alive.
Many random character.
She was the one that died.
Yeah, Danica basically killed her pack and then herself because she went crazy.
What? I don't remember any of this.
You don't remember any of this? And then she comes back as a ghost to help whatever the main female character's name is, to level up and all of a sudden learn how to use her powers.
It starts with a B, whatever the freak.
And then surprise, it's connected to the Throne of Glass series. Ooh, and the Court of Thorns series. Oh my goodness.
That's book 2. You're giving book 2 spoilers because I watch all the spoilers because I don't give a shit.
I have heard they intertwine, but I didn't know which series, and it's been a while, so
I think it's a cheap gift because
because she waited.
I feel like every author wants to fantasy world.
800 pages. No,
I mean,
but Sarah J. Maas writes 800 pages, and you can cut out literally 300 to 500 pages.
And
but see, that's just like the other one that you hate, Alicia. Jennifer L. Armentrout.
I did
the Blood and Ash series. They're very long, but
at least her books read quickly. The JLA books, they read very quickly because you could just.
There were just certain things that took me out of it.
You could just enjoy.
That it was medieval, but yet they had light bulbs, and I'm just like,
I consider her books like popcorn books.
I don't again, not judging anybody who likes it. I'm just like, little stupid things took me out of the book, and I'm like, wait. That doesn't
I
make
do have to
sense.
give it up for her. Like Jennifer Armentrout can like have you go through nothing for like 500 pages, but you're still somehow turning the pages,
It's so
and then have
dramatic.
everything happen in the last 200 pages. Versus like Sarah J. Maas, I'm like, oh my goodness, like who are these characters? Like I feel like I need to take notes.
Well, and that's why I slowed it down. Like the first time I read it, 2 to 3 speed, I couldn't tell
I
you
can't pick anything up
anything.
past 1.8 speed.
So, well, and that was at the point in my
Okay, I
life
get
where
that.
I'm just like, I want to read as quickly as I can so that I can have an opinion
Yeah.
about this at book club, and then all of it just floats out of my brain. And I'm getting frustrated now because I'm like, I would like to be able to like
I'm
have you
trying to
guys sit
slow it
here
down.
and go, oh yeah, I read this book, and me being like, I actually remember that book, rather than I think I read that one. So
I feel the same way, Jen. Like I think this year probably I'm like 400 books down from last year
and that's
because
okay.
I just can't
I'm at
like blow through
63 for the
them.
year.
I used to read like 3.5 speed, now I'm like
Yeah.
maybe 2 to 2.5-ish
Mm-hmm.
because I actually
I'm
want
trying.
to like enjoy and remember the story a little bit more
And I really have
instead
to
of just
slow it
like
down
skip through books.
if the
Yeah.
audiobook narrator has an accent. I really have to slow it down.
You do. And I've
Oh,
started to like not do like cleaning because I know that when I'm cleaning, I am not paying attention. If I am
yeah.
working on a craft, then I can do it because it's basically mindless. And so I'm listening because I do a lot of diamond painting. So I do those as I'm doing it, and I don't have to think about other things because once I'm walking around, like if I get into something, it's just like I tune it out very quickly. So yeah, my reading is way down for this year. I think I
I'm at
haven't even hit 50
63.
books. I think I'm
I'm
at
at 63.
40.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I think I'm
I forgot to
at
update that part of my thing. Dun, 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 dun,
I
dun.
also feel like in the past 2 weeks, my
45.
brain is. That's so good, though. That's
And
fantastic.
a lot of them are physical books that I've read in some way, shape, or form. So I'm tracking it because I wanted to read more of what I physically own. So of the 45 books that I've read, 36 of them are ones that I physically owned, whether it's an ebook, audiobook, or physical copy, or multiple. Some of them I did buy after I read them because I liked it, but I didn't count it in this. It's what I've already
Right.
owned.
Mhm.
So physical books, I have 10. Audiobooks, I have 9. And ebooks, I have 15. And that just goes to prove
Good
that
for
I am
you.
trying to do
okay.
really good with my Kindle. But I'm so nervous because I'm going on vacation. And I might not have Wi-Fi, and I'll be in Canada. And not to say that there's anything wrong with Canada, but I'm not sure if I'm going to have cell phone service. And if I don't read, it doesn't track. Do I lose my numbers? Or if I read it on my phone, when I do get cell phone service, is it going to be like, hey, you actually did read. Good job.
Yeah,
I
it
need
should track
answers on
it.
that.
It should.
It should track it.
I'm so nervous.
If you have it
I can't
downloaded
lose
to your
that streak.
Kindle, even if you don't have service, if you have it downloaded to your Kindle, it should still track it.
I
I'm
feel like I
hoping.
should just like let people like go and like explore my audiobook library because there's more books than it. I don't even know what I have anymore.
You have to
It's become a
organize
problem.
it.
Like I have 3,700 titles in Audible.
Oh my
Let me tell you
gosh.
right now what I've got.
And
I
then
only got like
Libro FM, I have like around 600.
Libro FM's been giving me issues. I've been trying to sign up for an account, and it won't let me sign up, and it's irritating me.
And then Chirp, I have like
Perp is ridiculous.
1,200, 1,300.
Yeah, I've got a couple hundred on the audiobooks, and I need to get better about reading those. I thought I would do more of them, but I'm really all about like keeping that Kindle thing going. So I'm
I
just
have
like, I gotta do this.
130 books on audio.
I feel like
What?
250.
Oh, let me
Can
see
we
all titles.
switch?
No, it's 9. I had it on the wrong thing. It's 995
I was about to
titles.
say it. Like as much as you read, like you only have 100.
Maybe that
I
she's
had
read.
it on the in progress.
In
Oh,
progress.
okay.
Got it. Okay, I'll allow it. Liz, to answer your question, I have not. Problem, friends. Okay, so I do the bookish box and Fairy Loot and all that fun stuff. So my copy of Lunches and Lattes was from Fairy Loot. I got an email that tells you what the upcoming books are for bookish box, and this book Bookshops and Bone Dust is
The
on there.
prequel.
Do I risk it and hope that Fairy Loot has it, or do I reinstate my subscription for the YA stuff? Because I did cancel that because I just was down and out.
I wouldn't, because you didn't love the first one. I would maybe get like a paperback of the second one.
Or just
Yeah,
get it
I
on the
agree.
audiobook, and then if Fairy Loot doesn't come out with it, no harm, no foul.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Because like you weren't in love with the first
Nice.
one. So it's like
True.
why
I
waste
mean,
Why
not,
go and
not
get a
waste
special
the money,
edition?
but why put
You-
that much money out for a book you
True,
might not like?
true. You know
I
a
feel
book
like
we
that's the
all
trap
should
with
read?
special editions, though.
Do you guys
Is that they
know?
want you to spend money.
Yeah, and I do every time. I'm a sucker. If I see a pretty cover, I'm like, sold. Jen's here for it. Have you guys
Well,
heard
Jen
this?
sends me all the.
This is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn
I
Brown.
wanna
This is a
read
special edition,
that.
but
I've
have you
never
read it?
I want to though.
I want to read it. I heard it's
Okay,
good.
don't read it then, and we'll put it at the beginning of next year because I've heard so many good things about this, and I would like to actually read it.
Yeah, I
So
think I own the
I
first
basically
audiobook.
blame Jen for my special edition book buying.
Honestly, I'm trying to make sure that nobody
Hey,
hears me.
I
I'm
get
a
it. Like,
horror
if
I
you
for
bought
want, if you're gonna
hardcover
get
that
special
books,
Prejudice
editions.
one.
you might as well
I
get
bought
like
that
the
Pride and
special
Prejudice
nice
one that-
editions.
They're so beautiful.
I was like, they look good on the shelves. The only thing
They
that would
do.
prevent me is I'd rather them do like completed series
See, that's what
instead of
irks
like
me is
one
when they
book.
don't.
It's like if they just do 2 books and they don't do the third or fourth or whatever, then I'm like,
When they have all of these, and then look at this spine, I was like, done.
where
No
did you get
regrets
that
at all.
from?
Fairy Loot. You need to get their
Okay,
book
I'm signing up.
combo. They're
Is there a
you
way?
need. Oh my
Do they
gosh,
have
Charles. Okay.
spots?
Story time. You have to sign up for the wait list, but the wait list one that you should sign up for is the book only for either YA or adult. And be excited, get on their subscription list for their romantasy because they don't have it out yet, but depending on how you feel about romantasy, they are going to have a special edition for that soon-ish. So
Well,
get
so
to it. But
can you just get like why? Because I would want the YA adults. I would like all 3.
so they don't have the romantasy yet, so you can't sign up
But
for
you
that
can
one.
get the first 2.
Yes, and I would say it's fantastic right now because it's what I get because I don't want to have a bunch of crap. I do the book only for YA and adult, and then they send them both to me at the beginning, and I can.
Oh, is that like okay? I think I'm gonna do that.
They're
I'm gonna
so
get on the wait
beautiful.
list.
Sorry for you to see my ass here. I'm gonna show you what the books I just got were. Ugh.
Oh, no problem. It's because like I want to read more outside the romance genre, and I feel like if I
Yes.
don't get the book boxes, then I'm like, the only way I know because I'm like a Penguin teen, I get arcs from Penguin teen, but like I never get to those. I feel bad. Oh, there's a good book you guys should read. Have you read The Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe?
I want to though, and I haven't read it.
Look at this. Beautiful.
I never
This
heard
is
of that
their
book.
stenciled edge, guys. I'm a whore for a stencil edge now, okay?
What book is that, Alicia? Is that Ithaca?
Their special Litjoy creates special edition of Pride and Prejudice.
Look at that. Look at that. But yeah,
That's like
I will tell
that's
you.
like too much of a flex. Like
Like-
you imprint on the hardcover too.
Look at that.
You do. And
It literally
this
was
one,
$20. This was $20.
they're still getting better about this, but they don't always come with a reverse cover. This one just happened to. But if we all start doing it, guys, we'll just have to read the books that we get from the subscription. We'll just be like, we're gonna read August's book today.
And this is the book sleeve. This is what the book came in.
And that's
And then-
Litjoy.
Yep.
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna
love
I
just
don't
start
usually buy from
subscribing.
them, but this was too pretty to pass up.
Oh my goodness.
And then
it
wait for
literally
it.
is one of my favorite
These
books.
edges. Hold on. Come on. Focus up. Stop blowing it out. That's the top,
I mean,
and the
that's,
top
like,
and the bottom are
worth
the
it.
same. And then this
This
is
is the
the
first.
edge.
This is the this. The
Is
end
it really
pages are the
about
first
like
line and
doing
the last line of
series?
the
Like
book.
if they start a series, they usually finish it.
So here's the problem with that is if it's a popular series, they'll end up coming back with the second book, which you then can buy separately.
Uh-huh.
But then they will also do special editions of series. So if there's a popular series out there, they will end up doing it.
That's why I was looking at the Broken Binding, because I've been reading a lot more fantasy lately, but the Broken Binding
This
in the UK.
was probably the most expensive one that I've ever bought, but I've had literally no regrets because this is from LitJoy, so
What is
Oh,
it?
just
that's
hold
the
on to
Holly
the book.
Black series.
Yeah,
Cruel Prince.
The Cruel Prince. And then you got to look at how beautiful these covers are. I'm
That
only gonna say
series
that.
is so much fun.
Honestly, I know I only have a little experience, but LitJoy Crate does fantastic stuff.
That's from
Stunning.
Fairy Lou too?
No, this one's from LitJoy. But for this one, I only sign up for their what the hell do I sign up for?
And this was out
Their
of stock
list.
for like a year and a half, and Jen found it back in stock, so I bought it.
Yeah, they had a subscription, like you just do their my alcohol is hitting me, guys. This isn't
But look
gonna
at the
last much
back.
longer.
It's the house. Look at the back. This is the back of the book.
That's so pretty.
That's
But yeah,
fun.
so
Like,
for LitJoy, I mean, they do boxes. I was just never always impressed with kind of what they had, but their special editions, if you join their newsletter, that's the word I was looking for.
this is my favorite.
That one is really pretty.
Beautiful.
Their first dance is the best.
But if you join the newsletter, you can still be on like an early access list. Like obviously they're going to give it to the people that actually subscribe.
Yeah.
That's
But
why
they
I have all
also
the
had
emails.
they had a Six of Crows one come out and I was just like done. And as long as you go, like I always like set alarms. I have alarms set in my book for all the special editions that are coming out where I'm like, I'm gonna buy you. My bank account hurts. Yeah. And so I just
And
have
for like, I know they're still like on the more expensive side, but with shipping, this was like 30, like 35 with shipping.
Well, that's not bad for a special edition.
And like being one of my favorite books, I was like, I'm gonna go for it.
Clean check. Okay, I'm gonna catch up. Liz, that's amazing. I wish I had that many books. I started way I started physically reading and I'm a slow reader. 55
I feel
Audible.
that.
Oh, that's too
You should try Book of the Month if you want like more adult.
See, I just don't know.
I just got rid of Book of the Month.
I think Book of the Month is like the cheapest for the value.
But they went up too. They're up to $27 now.
Oh yeah.
When I started, it was $18, and that was last year.
Yeah, usually if you get like those like codes, they kind of trap you because it's not really that price.
And then you keep on every like 2 months. I was getting an email. We're going up $1. I'm like, ugh. And
Stop
it
going
wasn't
up
the
dollars.
cheapest I was getting. So I was
But like you are getting like sometimes they do get early. Like if you're a thriller reader or literary fiction or kind of women's
that's
fiction,
what I would mainly get is my
romancy
literary
type
fiction.
vibes,
Yeah.
you will love them. The only thing is the books started getting very predictable. Like I can tell you, like if there's a Riley Sager book, they're going to have it as a pick.
Yeah.
Or Allie Hazelwood.
Same with what's her face, Chloe Gong. All her books are on there.
Yep.
Which I don't understand because she's technically a YA and it's technically an adult.
They do YA too. It's rare though.
I think it
They
just
did
very
Nicola
strange
Yoon's
the
last
ones they
book.
choose. Not that they're bad. I was just like, I'm not gonna pay almost $30 when I could just buy a hardback if I want to spend that much.
But they're so pretty. Stenciled edges. I don't like it when they come. They're like, it's going to be a solid edge or an ombre edge. And I'm like, well, that's lame. Give me the stenciled edging. Okay, it's what I deserve. And the one thing I will say that I don't love about Fairy Loot is a lot of times it's a digital signature. And I'm just like, for a company that big, get them some damn paper and have them sign. Okay.
You know what is making me want to buy more LitJoy is they're doing a Neil Gaiman series where all of his books are going to get. I love Neil Gaiman so much.
What's your favorite Neil Gaiman book?
Liz, I don't know the answer to this question. I'm so sorry.
It's a tie between, and they're very different. It's a tie between.
I have that.
Ocean at the End of the Lane.
Where's my phone?
and American Gods. They're both extremely different, but they're fantastic.
I would say my
But if you want to
favorite that
start
I
with Neil
constantly go
Gaiman, I
back to is the
recommend Wishing
Graveyard
Gaiman.
Book.
Graveyard Book is so
The
good.
Graveyard Book is my favorite.
It's so good.
I'm surprised how dark that book is for a
kid's
children's
book.
book, because it opens up with the baby. Because I forgot the child's name, but he's a baby while his family is getting brutally murdered, and he crawls out and lives
It's
in
a
the
retelling of
graveyard.
the Jungle Book.
I did not think of that, but it is.
It's instead of him being raised by animals, he's
raised by ghosts.
Oh. Oh no.
I'm writing all of these books. Oh no, did I go away? What's happening?
No, I think
Alicia,
Alicia froze for a little bit.
You're back
It's
though,
just-
because I saw that. I was like,
now.
oh no, did I miss
I was
something?
like, did we lose Alicia?
I don't know if I froze or if it was you guys or if it was my internet or what.
Alicia, I think it did have foiling on it. Yeah.
It was a foil.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does. Not
Liz,
a lot, but it does.
I will tell you guys, just so that you know, based off the books that we've discussed a little bit, I put the Inheritance games on there. Do you guys know if it's anything like the Hunger Games? Answer that one, and I'm done.
No,
The Great Gatsby.
No, it isn't. It's like the Westing game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah, it's
Westing
like
game meets.
guy has a puzzle.
Yeah.
For inheritance. It's nothing like the Hunger. No one dies.
Meets Knives Out.
Yes, Knives Out is a great comparison.
Okay. So yeah, I put that series for next year. I put The Great Gatsby, and then Liz put up in there oh my gosh, I just had it. Deadly Education by someone
Naomi Novik.
Naomi Novik, yeah. Because I
haven't had the best luck with her, but I'm willing to try her again.
I feel like people are like going against like same like with Olivia Blake, the Atlas, whatever that book is called.
I heard either you're gonna love it or you're gonna hate it.
Like both of those books, I didn't like. I thought it's very intellectual.
Like freaking Babel. Oh God, that book was trash.
I feel like it's.
Yeah, I'm glad that I
than Babel.
Got accepted to Fairy after they did Babel, because I've heard a lot of people.
Babel's garbage, and if you want to read it, I'll give you my copy. I hated it so much.
No, I'm good. Thank you though. American Gods.
Honestly, you might like it. I just didn't like it. It was just like she was just telling me something I already knew. I'm like, yeah, that happened. And
interesting.
That makes sense. The Graveyard Book is pretty mature.
Yeah. Personally, I wouldn't give it to my 8-year-old little brother. Not yet.
Jen,
I think he will enjoy it. I just don't think now.
Have you read Wonder by R.J. Palacio?
No, is that the cover with the blue face and the face on it? I have not read that yet. No.
I've heard it's good though.
It's so good. And like if you read the 3 novellas that accompany it.
Oh, there's more? I thought it was just one.
Yeah, there's one from the kid that bullied the main character.
Oh.
I mean, and it tackles like how much like sometimes it's not the child, it's the parents behind the child. It's so good. Like the movie is pretty it's pretty much a replication of the book.
I've been afraid of it, not because I think it's going to be bad. It's just I feel like it's going to hit home with certain things, and I'm just going to like. I have to make sure that I'm like mentally prepared.
It will make you cry though.
Oh my gosh!
It has my favorite trope when my best friends fight. That's my favorite trope in a book.
Enemies to lovers, 110%.
No, like did you watch like Sex Education on Netflix?
I did.
Not yet. It's on my list.
At least you remember that first season fight between Eric and I forgot the other guy's name. Remember they had that fight in season 1?
Mm-hmm.
That's like my favorite because like when you're that close, like the fights just hit differently.
True.
Liz,
the fact that you said this makes me so nervous to read this book. I don't have it, but I thought about getting it now.
I really want to read that Divine Rivals one.
I have that. We'll put that on our list.
It's beautiful.
I want to read that.
I bought it because it went on sale at my Target, and I was like, "Ooh, this is pretty."
That's awesome. Yeah.
Oh yeah, school maps.
So we got a lot of things to consider. I'm really nervous my cat's going to close my computer or try and eat something. So we might have to wrap this up because she's getting feisty and she can't get to me.
My dog is like dead asleep right next to me.
Okay, so I'll do this one because it's next week. So I know that I flashed this earlier, but we are going to be doing the Red Rising read along next week. Charles may or may not be joining us. It's hard to say. He might just sneak it in there. We'll see.
Hopefully you'll come for some of the Jane Austen discussions. We have to figure out when we're going to schedule all that. But
see, she gave you an open invitation, but you also, Alicia, he needs to have a specific invite.
I mean, like, I read the P.L. Stewart book and it's like, okay, I will just support from the comment section.
All right, as long as you're in the
understand why I love him so much after hearing him talk.
He was
like,
wonderful.
He is an absolute like doll of a human being. Like, oh my god.
I'm just waiting for the series to be done so then he can start doing the audio.
20
or
books.
Hopefully
you got like 20 years ago.
I know. And the fact that
there's no way he's going. It's not going to be 27 books. That's insane.
No, year 2027 is when he's expected to be done with the first set.
Oh,
and then
the original
previous series and all these things.
Okay, I thought you said he's going to write 27 books. I was like, I think that's a little much.
But yes, please note that the time is 1 hour earlier than we normally do, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We are doing this on Alicia's channel. I can't remember if I put it in the description box, but it is online. And if you look at any of our posts, you will see the updated subscription or the updated. Oh, words are hard.
You
will see.
You might an hour and 10 minutes. You're good.
In there. Yeah, and I've had a lot of wine. Even though I've had food, Jen's 3 sheets to the wind based off of my tiredness level. But yes, if everyone would like to take a screenshot. Fantastic. There will be a post tomorrow, so just be on the heads up for that. If you're looking for the link and you want to save it for later, or if you just want to go over to Alicia's channels now, it's Birdie in the Books. Go ahead and subscribe, follow videos if you can do that. You guys know this all better than me. I'm sure you can do that. Save reminders, follow-ups, fun stuffs. 2 weeks from today, we are going to actually finish out what is currently the series for the Vancouver Agitators. Is that this series called? Sure. Yeah. I'm going with it. We're at that point. The title of the book is correct. So the next book is Right Man, Right Time by Meghan Quinn. So we are doing that 2 weeks from today. It will be at 6 p.m. Pacific time. This is the last book club book for probably a month then because Jen's going on vacation. So schedules are tight. But if you want to go ahead and take a screenshot. Charles, that was the greatest. I love it so much. I felt bad. I saw you doing that. I was like, oh no, I'm too far into my phrase.
No, it's okay. I like accidentally pulled the pillow away from my dog and then she like gave me an evil look because I put the pillow on top of her. And now like she literally like went to the other side of the room. She's like, I'm done with you.
She doesn't. The thing is, I feed her dinner and she doesn't want it. She just wants my undivided attention. She does it at work too, and she screams and screams. So at least we haven't gotten to that point yet. Thanks so much, Shannon. Maybe we'll see you in the comments. Maybe not.
Yeah. Hopefully in October, I will have scheduled a second talk.
Thanks so much, Shannon.
If we can fit it in, it's a chunk.
Yeah. And there's no audiobook, so
audio.
You might want to.
I love the audio.
Wait, I support it. I bought all the books, so I was like, I supported you that way.
I did too, because I needed to get to $20 to get my extra star, my diamonds or whatever.
Wow. So much for real support, Jen.
I bought them all, okay? Just I benefit from it as well.
I will need your help with Canva, though. I have to set up my November author interviews, so I'm going to bug you with Canva help.
I love Canva more than you'll ever know.
Well, you're gonna be back on November 18th, right? We can tell. I can mention this since it's in November.
Yeah.
We'll have
the discussion
of book. The discussion of book 3. Yeah. The discussion of book 3 in the In Ash series will be November 18th.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a series you told me to read. I remember that.
You should read it, Charles. It's so good. We will miss everyone during the break. I'll still post stuff. It'll just be like, if you're on Facebook, it's funny. You'll realize that I can schedule stuff on Facebook, and then like 12 hours later, I'll be like, oh, shoot, should have sent this on Instagram, because you have to be a professional to schedule on Instagram, and I'm not paying for that. So sorry, I love you all, but no.
Yeah, I'm having
no,
2 author interviews in November, 1 in September, 1 as of now in October. So I'm gonna need your help with Canva. I hate to bug you all the time, but
I can help
I just
too
need
if
to
you
get
need help
consecutive
too.
days off, and then I'll be able to sit in front of my phone. But right now, like, it's been a struggle to
oh
get
no,
on
that's
there.
why
So
I'm not
like,
stressed. It's not the
so
next author interview is not till September 26th. So we're good.
didn't I already do
Let
that
me know
one?
if I can help too if you need help.
Yeah, because I suck at Canva and it hates my phone.
I have the subscription for Canva because I use it so much.
Oh,
What? I need, every time I see the
No,
pro,
you just
it makes me
started,
so
get
angry.
out.
I'm just like, I want it so bad. How do you?
It's
Word.
actually helpful. Like you can do so much.
I know. I need to just
It's
bite
like
the
an
Canva
bullet.
just
Instagram
hates
where
my
like it
phone.
gives you tips on everything. So I was like, oh my goodness, you can do so much in Canva.
Maybe I just need to do it. Treat myself. That'll be what I do Black Friday. Hopefully they have a deal.
Hey, you use it enough where it will help you out.
It pays for itself.
It pays for
Okay,
itself.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's see if I can remember all of this and just wrap us up real nice. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. I would love to thank my lovely co-hosts. I can never do this because it's all sideways.
You're good.
You guys. Thank you all for in the comments for hanging out with us. Thank you, everyone, on the replay. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to all of our other lives. Don't forget to subscribe to my co-hosts, which I'm pretty sure I put their links in Instagram. Nope, it's not Instagram. It's in the description box. There we go. Words are hard.
You're good.
We're back next week on Alicia's channel. We're back 2 weeks on this channel. I think that's everything, right? I feel like I'm missing something.
No, you got it.
Next week I'll be back on my regular schedule. Hopefully my brain will have like kicked back into gear, because let me just tell you, some things have been real rough. But I would like to thank you guys all. It's been a pleasure. I look forward to these, even though I wake up at 5 a.m. It is what keeps me going. So I will end it at that. Y'all are wonderful, and we'll see you 2 weeks from now on this channel. Bye.
Hi, everyone.
Bye.